Welcome to our channel, where we unlock paths to wealth and success. Let's grow rich together. Have you ever wondered why the richest people in the world keep getting wealthier while ordinary people struggle to keep up? Over the past few decades, we've seen massive technological advancements, globalization, and stock market booms. Yet, for most people, wages haven't increased at the same pace, while housing, education, and healthcare costs have skyrocketed. In a world that claims to offer equal opportunities, why is it that fewer and fewer people are actually able to climb the economic ladder? French economist Thomas Piketty provides a shocking answer to this question in his groundbreaking book, Capital in the 21st Century. His key argument? Economic inequality isn't a failure of the market. It's a natural outcome of capitalism itself. In other words, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer isn't an anomaly. It's a systemic rule. Today, we'll break down the core ideas of this book in simple terms, see how they explain today's economic realities, and most importantly, discuss what ordinary people can do to protect themselves in this game of wealth. At the heart of Piketty's argument is a simple but powerful inequality: R greater than G. What does this mean? R is return. On capital refers to the rate of return on investments in assets such as real estate, stocks, and businesses. G is economic growth rate refers to the overall growth of wealth in society, including wage increases and GDP expansion. Piketty studied over 200 years of historical data and found that in most cases, the return on capital, R, is consistently higher than the overall economic growth rate, G. Simply put, rich people make money from investments much faster than ordinary people can earn from wages. A real-life example. Let's say you're an average worker and your salary increases by 3% per year, but real estate, stocks, and business profits grow by 7% per year. After a year of hard work, you might find that housing prices have risen beyond what you can afford, while the stock market has surged past your ability to invest. Meanwhile, wealthy investors didn't have to work extra hours. Their assets grew in value while they slept. This is the real-world impact of ER greater than G. The wealthy get richer because their money generates more money, while those relying on wages fall further behind. In other words, the speed of capital growth far exceeds the pace of economic growth and wage increases, causing wealth to naturally accumulate among those who already own assets. This is why the gap between rich and poor continues to widen. You might be thinking, if R greater than G is always true, then why did income inequality decrease in the mid-20th century? That's a great question. According to Piketty, the period from 1945 to 1980, when income distribution was relatively equal, was an exception, not the norm. It wasn't that capitalism became fairer. Instead, it was a temporary result of historical disruptions that shook the global economic system. Why did inequality decrease after World War II? First, 2 world wars destroyed enormous wealth. Between 1914 and 1945, the world experienced 2 world wars and the Great Depression. This led to massive destruction of capital, real estate, businesses, and financial institutions collapsed, wiping out much of the wealth held by elites. After World War II, many countries had to rebuild from scratch, meaning the gap between rich and poor temporarily narrowed. Second, government intervention and high taxes. From 1945 to 1980, the US and European governments implemented high tax, high welfare policies to support the middle class. Examples include the New Deal in the US, the creation of welfare states in Western Europe. Back then, the top income tax rates in the US and Europe were as high as 70 to 90%. Even if rich people made a lot of money, much of it was taxed away, resulting in a more even distribution of wealth. Third, fast economic growth. From 1945 to 1975, global economies grew at an unprecedented rate. This was one of the rare moments in history where G, economic growth, was actually higher than R, capital return. High growth meant wages were rising quickly, helping to shrink income inequality. Why did inequality surge again after 1980? Starting in the 1980s, 3 major shifts in global capitalism led to the return of wealth inequality. First, neoliberal reforms, low taxes, deregulation. Leaders like Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher introduced policies that lowered taxes on the rich and reduced government intervention in the economy. Corporate profits skyrocketed, allowing wealthy individuals and businesses to accumulate wealth at a much faster rate than ordinary workers. Second, globalization. Manufacturing jobs were outsourced to lower-wage countries such as China, India, Southeast Asia. This weakened the bargaining power of workers in developed nations, keeping wages low while corporate profits soared. Third, the rise of tech and financial capitalism. The rise of the internet, artificial intelligence, and finance-driven economies created a new wave of billionaires such as Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg. However, ordinary people's wages did not increase at the same pace, meaning wealth became concentrated in fewer hands. The result? In the 1970s, middle-class families could afford a decent life on a single salary. By the 2020s, young people realized that without assets, it's nearly impossible to move up economically. Wealth is once again concentrated among asset owners, bringing us back to the capitalist aristocracy of the 19th century. You might think, R greater than G is just a theory. How does it actually affect us today? The truth is it already shapes our daily lives in two key ways. 1. The stock market. The rich make money from investments. The poor rely on wages. For the past few decades, global stock markets have grown rapidly. If you have money to invest, your wealth will grow much faster than if you rely solely on wages. Example: over the past 10 years, the S&P 500 US stock market index had an average annual return of 10%. Bitcoin and tech stocks grew even faster. Who benefits? If you're rich, you don't need to work harder. Your money grows automatically. If you're poor, your fixed salary barely covers daily expenses, making it difficult to invest. 2. Real estate. Home prices rise faster than wages. In many countries, real estate is the largest asset class, and property values have increased far faster than wages. For example, London real estate. 1990. The average home cost £50,000. 2023. The same home now costs £500,000, which is a 10 times increase. But average wages have not increased 10 times, making home ownership impossible for many. The result? Homeowners grow richer effortlessly. Renters struggle as property prices keep rising. If R greater than G is an unavoidable rule of capitalism, does that mean ordinary people are doomed to fall behind forever? Not necessarily. While we can't change the system, we can change our approach to avoid being left behind. 1. Don't rely solely on wages. Start investing early. Invest in stocks and index funds. Even small monthly investments are better than keeping money in a savings account. Consider buying property early, if financially possible. Even a small apartment is better than paying rent forever. Why? Because in a world where wealth is built through assets, investing as early as possible gives you time to benefit from capital appreciation. 2. Improve your skills and increase your income potential. If your salary isn't increasing, it may be because your skills are no longer competitive in the job market. Invest in learning skills with high earning potential, such as technology, finance, programming, or investing. In today's economy, developing in-demand skills is one of the best ways to increase your earning power and stay ahead. 3. Pay attention to global trends and capital flows. Wealth moves quickly to where the best opportunities are. New industries like AI, Web3, renewable energy, and biotech offer massive investment potential. Instead of waiting for a salary increase, look for ways to position yourself in high-growth industries. Smart investors and entrepreneurs always follow the trends of wealth movement. Ordinary people should do the same. In conclusion, the world won't become fairer, but you can change your position. Piketty's Capital in the 21st century makes one thing clear. Wealth inequality is not a temporary issue. It is the natural outcome of capitalism. The return on capital, R, outpaces economic growth, G, meaning those who own assets accumulate wealth much faster than wage earners. The equal opportunity era after World War II was an exception, not the norm. Moving forward, wealth inequality is expected to widen, not shrink. If you don't own appreciating assets, stocks, property, businesses, it will become harder and harder to keep up with rising costs of living. So, what's the solution? You can't change the game, but you can change how you play. Start investing early, develop high-income skills, and follow global financial trends. This world won't change just because of a book, but you can change your place in this world. Light bulb,